policy think tank, a nonprofit think tank here in the US, based at Denison University, where I teach, and also at the University of Missouri, Kansas City, which is where I went to grad school. And I see a UMKC alum sitting in the back, a good friend of mine. So the institute is called the Institute for Sustainable Prosperity. And the focus of the institute is really on improving quality of life as opposed to improving economic growth. Most economists are obsessed with this idea of economic growth because in the past, economic growth used to produce lots of jobs and raise the standard of living. Standard of living, not necessarily quality of life. But those processes have stopped operating at least a couple of decades ago, where we have things like jobless growth, where we have economic growth with the benefits from economic growth being extracted by the 1% for the most part. And also the obsession with economic growth to the detriment of the environment, to the detriment of quality of life for people. So this is sort of what the Institute is interested in a different kind of economic system that is driven by, our policy targets are driven by quality of life indicators as opposed to purely economic for-profit indicators. So you hear, even in the business community, you hear people now talking about the triple bottom line. They say people, planet, profits, right? Or people, planet, prosperity. Because it matters. If you just focus on the bottom line, you're sacrificing quality of life, you're sacrificing people, you're sacrificing the planet, and you're getting to these kinds of problems that we're talking about. So the Institute is interdisciplinary. We have economists, political scientists, legal scholars, quite a few legal scholars, and environmental engineers, and people who are interested in kind of changing the system in a holistic way, as opposed to just tweaking, a couple of economic variables here and there. So that's, feel free to visit us online, on Facebook, on social media. It's the Gonzaga Institute for Sustainable Prosperity. Yeah.
So we'll take 2 more questions.
About 70 or 80 years ago, Gandhi has talked and written about all the problems which the world will face, environmental problems. And his solution was what you have, not on a macro level, micro level, small independent villages producing and consuming what they, and not be interdependent, where you had to build big factories and all kinds of things. So have you read about that? Or
yeah, we're not claiming that any of this stuff is new. We're building on many, many traditions. This is one of which. Many traditions that are trying to think of a different way of organizing society, organizing the economy in a sustainable way that focuses on prosperity, on quality of life, as opposed to the making money part of the economy. So there's lots of different models. Gandhi's contribution is one of those. It's part of an overall tradition. She didn't ask her question, so I'll take her questions.
I'm interested in getting it into the schools, and widespread, and kids and teenagers and college students can do all kinds of stuff. Education is so important.
Absolutely. That's why I'm a teacher. And that's why when I get an invitation of this kind to talk to members of the community or schools, I reschedule everything and say I'm going to do it. Because I believe in what I'm doing, and I believe in what you just said, which is spreading information about a different kind of world. Because what we hear in the mainstream media, what you hear from the Washington, D.C. think tanks is that it's the, Margaret Thatcher's famous Tina, there is no alternative. This is it, right? This is the only way to do it. And what I'm trying to say, that there is a real alternative. They call it Tierra, right? There is a real alternative. And this is, no, I'm working on it. But there's quite a bit of stuff on our website, and I'll be happy to communicate by email or any other way. And I'll be happy to talk to other groups as well.
So let's give our speaker a round of applause.
Thank you.
This is a little something from the museum.